Project Cars 2 GT3 Championship Series, Season number 12, car selections and team rosters. The three-time defending team champions, the Porsche team Apex Motorsports, two-time defending drivers champion K-Dog and Bubba. The Lamborghini team X-Storm Racing, X-Ice and Barn. The BMW Thunderbolt Racing, Doge and Wildebeest. The Lamborghini team Axe Goblin Racing, Jaja and Austin. The Ferrari team Grapes of Wrath, Tommy and Bonds. The Acura team Wall Riders Incorporated, Brian Mosser and Fifi. The Ferrari team Speed Syndicate, Dre and Drew the Great. The Porsche team of Smoking Tire Racing, Senile and Habab. And there is your car selection and team makeup for season number 12 of the PRL's American PS4 Project Cars 2 GT3 Championship Series. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen. The Precision Racing League proudly presents the American PS4 Project Cars 2 GT3 Championship Series. I'm your host for this evening, Hootius. Out there in Twitch land, you know me as Old Man Hoot. And here we go. Last week, we got just a little taste of it. Tonight, now it's for other marbles. The boys are racing for points. Season 12 officially kicks off. As you can already see a little bit as we are following our two-time defending champion K-Dog, we are in California, more specifically in Long Beach, to tackle one of the famous and difficult street circuits that there is. While the guys are out there getting it on in qualifying, we're about halfway through. Let's go ahead and take a moment for any viewers, race fans, not 100% sure of this track. Let's go ahead and give you a quick tour around Long Beach. Right on the Pacific Ocean on the outskirts of Los Angeles, tonight the GT3 class will be racing on the beautiful streets of Long Beach. The street circuit comes in at just a hair under 2 miles long with 11 sneaky, tricky turns to put these drivers to the test on this very bumpy yet very fast street circuit. All right, you're going to begin your lap on the front stretch. This is the longest quote-unquote straight on the circuit. As you can tell, you're bending to the right, but you're flat out. The slipstream here can really set you up well to make a pass attempt into turn one. Now, as you veer to the right, you have to be careful as well, because as you see with the blue line, the exit to pit road actually goes out into the preferred line as you hit the left-hander of turn one. You're going to snake a little bit before you get hard under the brakes for the carousel around the Dolphin outside the aquarium. You're going to have a bit of a short shoot before a 90-degree right-hander. You're going to stay to the left on this other short shoot. Here's another right-hander, except you're going to try to carry as much speed as possible, but it is very, very bumpy right there. We have seen leaders lose the back end of their car right there trying to take it too fast. As you veer to the right side of the straight, now you're going back to the left. You're going to veer to the left side of this straight as well. You're going to have a bit of a blind right-hander coming up. Now this is going to take you on the second longest straightaway. If that right-hander you can take with enough speed, set yourself up with some slipstream, it can present an opportunity to make a pass coming up ahead for a heavy braking right-hander, though not a ton of room here. After you take the right hand, now you have a double apex left-hander, just asking for the rear end to swing out if you challenge too hard. After the second left-hander, though, you're hard on the brakes for the hairpin. You're going to stomp on the gas, and this is where we're going to see guys fight with wheel spin like we saw right there. Now you're racing past the entrance to pit road, you're going down to the start-finish line, and that's how you navigate just under 2 miles here on the streets of Long Beach. And there you have it. Just getting you a little bit more familiar of what the guys are going to experience for 45 minutes tonight here at Long Beach, where we're looking at approximately, I'd say probably around 39 laps or so. Actually, probably a little bit shorter. We're probably looking at 34, maybe 35 if somebody's on a tear with their pace. Now, let's go ahead and talk about last season while everybody is out there wrapping up their qualifying rounds, and then we'll go ahead and look at the scoreboard. The man that we're following right now is your two-time defending champion, K-Dog Honda. He won in an Audi. He won in an Acura. He's going 3 for 3 now. He is in a Porsche this season, trying to win 3 straight championships in 3 different cars. In the Porsche with him will be the same teammate of Apex Motorsports, and that's going to be Bubba, who showed some really good speed in the preseason race at the Porsche as well. Apex Motorsports, the 3-time defending team champion. Bubba and K-Dog won last season, so they're looking to defend. Now, your points runner-up last season, that would be this man right here, Doge. As Doge is now in a new car. We saw him, actually, Doge finished third, so he did not start as a full-time driver. Then he joined in with Jaja in the Lambo. This time around, as Doge gets a little bit wheelie, as you saw there too, and just taking it easy on the track tour lap that I was doing. This is a super bumpy circuit, and if you're trying to accelerate hard at the wrong moment and your car bounces, the rear end whips around on you. Last time we were here at Season 9, it was the birth of the Oh No. It really was. We saw 6 different leaders spin themselves and hit a wall at this racetrack. So you're never safe here at Long Beach, even when you're trying to take it easy and conservative. So this time around, Doge has swapped vehicles. He is in the BMW this season, teaming up with, let's see if we can find him on the list. Nope, we have a couple thes, so it's going to take, there we go, Wildebeest of the NASCAR Heat PRL fame, jumped in last season, his first, it wasn't even a full season, it was his first experience with Project Cars, did well, had some top 5s looking good, so now he's got a solid teammate in Doge, both guys looking to tame the BMWs and really make a run for the team title as well. Now, as for our points runner-up last season, we recognized him in the Mercedes. That is gone. It's the Lamborghini this time around, X-Ice. He won 2 races back-to-back early in the season, Bannockbury and Imola. Was able to capture 7 podiums on his way to the runner-up points finish. So he likes the consistency of the Lamborghini across all tracks. He's going to look to bring the fight to K-Dog and see if he can't contend for his first championship. There he is. His teammate will be Barnstorm once again. Again, both drivers were in the were in the Mercedes. They swapped it out for the Lamborghini. Barn not a huge fan of this track at all. So right now, sitting in the middle of the field, looking to pretty much survive is the best way to put it. Now, 2 guys to keep our eyes on. One of them is Jaja. He won back in Season 10, did not have a victory in Season 11, though he did snag a couple podiums. So Jaja is staying in the Lamborghini, though swapping up the colors a little bit, and he's going to have a new teammate, and that's going to be Austin. Austin was a reserve driver all of last season. He's full-time now. He'll be in the Lamborghini every week with Jaja. Won 2 races, including our season finale at Daytona. When we left the broadcast at Daytona, Barn crossed the line first. There was some controversy. The stewards got involved. There was a time penalty enforced. Austin was awarded the Daytona win. So Austin coming off a great run and really a great race overall that was had at Daytona, looking to keep it going now and trying to battle for his first PRL championship. And with that, let's go ahead and stick to the scoreboard now. We'll run through the line order, and we'll go ahead and show off some other cars for drivers who we haven't talked about yet. So Austin, currently sitting P1, him and K-Dog, last laps around, we're trading off spots. So Austin currently sitting P1. He was fastest this practice as well. K-Dog, not a shocker, within 2/10 though. We got to give a shout out to Two-Tone Tommy. He was the runner-up in points back in Season 10. Fell down to 5th in Season 11. Just wasn't quite there for him as it was in the Audi the season prior. So he's parked the Audi. He's now in a Ferrari. He has a brand new teammate, which would be the Bonds, making his PRL debut. But Tommy with a great run right now, sitting P3. Dano, our only reserve driver in the race, really rocking that Porsche right now, currently sitting P4. Dano also just got promoted from reserve driver to a full-time driver in our Formula One league. So Dano looking to keep the momentum going. And I will say this too, Dano is riding high. All right, he's riding a little too high in corner one as he whips it around. But no, last Thursday in Formula One at Monaco, Dano, unfortunately, had a guy run out of gas right in front of him. That little hiccup cost Dano a shot. He was a half second off his first career podium. So Dano, though, was really proud of the run. He's keeping it going, and he wants to solidify himself from the streets of Monaco here to the streets of Long Beach. And we've got Bubba, currently P5. Now, we're in crunch time. Austin is out on the track. He's going to get one last shot as he crosses the line now. We see that's Barn leaving the pits. Oh no, Austin went too wide in turn 1, hits the wall. That's going to cost him some time. We've got K-Dog out on the track. Appears to be oh no. K-Dog had issues in Sector 3. He is not going to get a final lap in to challenge Austin. Tommy's in the pits as well. Now everybody's looking at Dano as Dano parks it. War of attrition going on. We've got Wildebeest out right now. P7, he is a second off, and he parked it. We have Senile, which in qualifying, the car damage does not reset once the guy pits. So I'm sure Senile's in a clean Porsche right now, though. It looks like he's had an eventful qualifying. Currently sitting P10. 2.5 seconds off pole, but within striking range of Jaja. As he comes off the hairpin, Senile is going to race it to the start-finish line. Austin has pole secure. Can Senile move up the order? No, he can't. So Senile will stay 10th. So that is going to give the first podium of the season, as you see him right there, flashing the headlights, doing some victory wiggles. Austin, very happy. That's going to secure the top spot here at Long Beach. All right, so Austin will start on pole. K-Dog, the two-time defending champion, on second. Tommy's going to be third. Dano and Bubba are going to round out your top 5. Doge, Wildebeest, Barn, Jaja, and Senile round out your top 10. With Excise, Bonds, Habab, and Drew the Great rounding out the rest of the field. Drew did not put a lap in. He is electing to start in the rear. Long Beach is known for a little bit of chaos, so not the worst strategy in the world for Drew, especially if you're not feeling comfortable about your pace. Start in the back, avoid the carnage, nice and consistent, gain those spots. So we'll see how Drew can whip up the Ferrari. Now, if you notice, we have 2 open spots. So, unfortunately, Brian Mosser was trying to race tonight. Not sure what's going on with this connection, but he will not be able to join us. It really stinks for Mr. Mosser. I know he's looking forward to it, getting that Acura out there. So we'll see what happens next week. Also, hats off to Fifi, who... we love him. We were having him back after a couple seasons off. Fifi had one last medical procedure that happened today, so he's taking the week off. He will be back 100% next week, so we're very excited for that. And not sure where our Speed Syndicate owner is, Dre, a stable of this league for many, many, many seasons now. So Dre, unfortunately, missing tonight's race. So that gives us 13 full-time drivers and 1 reserve in Dano. Now everybody is halfway through. They get a 2-minute time period to set up the cars. Any tweaks they want to make for the race, make sure all the fuel is there. Again, anybody new to the broadcast, anybody not familiar with GT3 racing, there is a mandatory pit stop that these drivers have to do within the 45-minute time limit of the race. You are not allowed to change tires and add fuel to these race cars during your pit stop. So the fastest strategy, and fuel is added very slowly in these cars. So your fastest strategy is to start off with enough fuel to take you all 45 minutes, and when you come in, you just take your tires. So we're almost ready, and there we go. So everybody is readied up. Everybody's sinking, and we're going to get going. Now we're going to have to keep an eye on K-Dog. K-Dog is known for great starts as we're green. And there it is again. K-Dog with a great start. Dano with a great start. Bubba with a great start. So the Porsche's looking great off the line. So Austin, who started on pole, has already lost 2 positions. Bubba, who qualified 5th, has already gained 1. We've got Doge as well, looking to get itself up in the top 5 as Tommy has dropped positions. Oh, but there's contact between Bubba and Dano. Dano's hard into the outside wall. Looked like Bubba didn't load up, and now there's contact between Bubba and Austin. Not sure what's going on with Bubba, if there's a connection issue, but Bubba getting early contact as they're going around the aquarium. So K-Dog and Bubba go up front early. Everybody else, we got a little bit of craziness going on as they're trying to equal out. So there was some contact there between Jaja and Tommy. Tommy rushed the wall a little bit. Dano trying to fight his way back. He just took 5th place from Tommy. Tommy didn't have a great one. Now Doge trying to look to the inside. Doge is the BMW on the outside. Tommy in the middle. That's Senile, who's qualified 10th. He's already up a couple positions. X-Ice is all the way back down to 13th. He was your points runner-up last season. So X-Ice is... Lambo looks pretty clean. I'm not sure if he just saw all the carnage and decided to back off. So X-Ice now looking to race his way up the field. Now with all that craziness that just happened, K-Dog has jumped out to an early lead. You see it's just around 2 seconds from his teammate Bubba. And because of the contact and the craziness, so, whoa, Austin there whips it around the hairpin, almost lost the rear of the car. So Bubba now has a pretty decent gap, and here comes Austin. Again, Austin hit the wall right before the aquarium, so he's coming in early. These tires can make it to the end of the race. Here comes Barn. He comes into the pits. So we've got 2 early pitters, 3 early pitters now, as that is Bonds, I believe, back there as well. There's Barn, there's Bonds. So we have 3 pitters. I'm surprised Dano did not pit. He had visible damage on his Porsche, but he's got it locked in right now as he challenges Tommy, trying to bring the challenge to Tommy here. As K-Dog and Bubba continue to pull away from the rest of the field. We also look back. We've got Doge. He's behind Jaja. We got Senile there. Senile up +3 right now. And shout out to Habab. Habab finds himself in 8th place. Wildebeest win a little wide there. And then here you see Drew the Great. X-Ice splitting between them. That's the black Ferrari. Move back up front as Dano is starting to close in on Tommy. Pulling away a little bit. You see Jaja with the one headlight out is damaged. I believe that was Senile we see scrape the wall back there. Decent hit, but he keeps it going. Oh, and we did have an update. So Barn, I thought his Lambo was, or excuse me, yeah, his Lambo was looking pretty clean. It was an unfortunate false start for Barnstorm. So that was the pit stop that why Barn jumped in the pit on lap 1. It was not due to damage. So Barn now having to make a recovery drive. Again, Barn does not like this track. One thing that works out in Barn's favor, though, I mean, it stinks that he lost all that time, but he is out in some open racetrack right now, not around anybody. Speaking of open racetrack, it's starting to close in now. K-Dog had a lead of over 3 seconds, and now that's down to 2. It's Bubba, who, though, has visible damage as well. You saw the broken glass on the driver's side. Bubba involved in 2 different stints of contact. I never want to call out a driver, but it looked like Bubba just went a little hard into turn 1 and initiated that contact with Dano. Not sure what happened between Bubba and Austin, though, which is the second part of that contact, but Bubba still has his Porsche out there right now. Speaking of which, so Dano has gotten around Tommy, or excuse me, here he goes, trying to get around Tommy, and he'll make it. Tommy, though, trying to get a run on the outside, use Slipstream, see if he can bring the fight back to the Porsche driver. It's not going to be there. So Dano's going to secure the spot as he go into the double apex. Oh, Dano almost lost the rear of the car there. That's going to give Tommy a strong run on the outside. Can Tommy have position? Nope, he fell back just a little bit. Did not have position going into the hairpin. So Dano's going to secure 3rd coming out of the hairpin, going down the front stretch. We see Doge in 5th now. Tommy's not able to get her a run. So Dano's going to hold third place. All right, so we got Doge in fifth. Senile now, as the camera tries to catch up. Oh no, Senile with issues in the double apex. This is going to allow Wildebeest to start attacking as they go around the aquarium. And that was not the double apex, so my apologies. That was turn one that Senile had issues with. So Wildebeest, in his first time in the BMW for the points. Against Senile running wide. We've got X-Ice now starting to creep his way up the leaderboard. X-Ice back up to P8 now. And as we had issues with Wildebeest, I was looking at chat, so Wildebeest had issues, put it in the wall. It's not terrible, but it just cost him a handful of positions now. So X-Ice now up to 7th place. Habab is in a gaggle, so Habab, we got Drew right there as well. Barnstorm. Oh no, there's contact. And there goes Habab, nose into the wall after that contact. So I believe that contact was with Barn. It was hard to tell what may have happened there, as Jaja and Drew were fighting it out in the hairpin as well. Jaja's going to secure the position. He's going to go to P8. Wildebeest with a run now on Drew down the front stretch, using that slipstream. Drew decides to take the left-hand side. That is the inside lane to turn one. But Wildebeest with a full head of steam. Is he going to have him fully cleared? He's going to take a wide approach. Both drivers given some room there as they're still door-to-door going through the aquarium. Wildebeest decides that's a really tough spot to battle at, so gives the position back to Drew. Great job by Drew and Wilder. Really nice battle going on there. Door-to-door, giving some room. Hats off to both guys. Oh, no! Wilder with a 90-degree spin there. Whips it back around, so that's what we were talking about in the track tour. That turn, there is a huge bump right there, and if you're not careful, the rear end comes around on you. And Wilder just found that out firsthand. Let's go back up front as we're 7 minutes into this race. K-Dog, the leader. That yellow Ferrari there, that is the Bonds in his debut. He unfortunately had to make a lap one pit due to damage. You saw how the Ferrari is still dinged up. But K-Dog right now, 2.5 seconds. That gray car that slipped in just in the back of the screen there, that's Bubba in second place, his teammate. Oh! Bonds was trying to give Bubba room. Bubba lost the rear end and almost ran into the back of him there. So, I mean, hats off to Bonds. He was trying to keep it to the inside to give the lead lap car the preferred line, and Bubba just hit that bump and almost ran into the lapped car. So, Bubba is between 2.5 to 3 seconds, depending on the runs that he gets in the lap, trying to stay within striking range of his teammate. Dano doing a full recovery now. Remember, he was door to door with Bubba. I wouldn't even say door to door. He had position going into turn one. Unfortunately, got tapped wide, hitting the wall, lost a lot of spots, but has gained them all back though. So Dano, we talked about at Monaco in F1 last week, was denied his first career podium. He fell a half second short of clipping a time penalty that the driver in front of him had because the car in front of Dano ran out of fuel coming out of the last turn. So I was absolutely heartbreaking for Dano. You know, he was happy for the run. He has the momentum. And now he's looking to see if he can capture his first career podium on the GT3 side. He's looking good right now, sitting in third place. Pretty comfortably at that. So we go to fourth place Doge, just now entering turn one. Now, one thing here is because of the way pit road is, it screws up the leaderboard. So you're constantly going to see guys going from seconds between each other to like minutes. So that's going to explain the unfortunate leaderboard issues that we're going to see. All right, now Senile, because of all the craziness and calamity that we had Senile actually. We saw him spin and lose a bunch of spots, though. He is getting it back now. He is back up to fifth, though he's got Tommy right behind him and X-Ice right behind Tommy. So this is a 3-car battle for a 5th place spot. We saw the back of the Porsche slide out a little bit there. That's the thing with that car here, and everybody who's watched the broadcast knows that I am a Porsche guy. It is a heavy rear end car. The back end likes to slide out, especially here at a street circuit where there's no banking, not a ton of grip, and you're trying to take corners, you know, maybe not this hairpin, but you're trying to take corners fast. So even though it is a really fast car here, you have to stay on it. Your hands are going to be full the whole time. See now, though, with a good run out of the hairpin down the front stretch, it's got several car lengths on Tommy. He's going to hold position going into turn 1. Now, one thing to keep in mind, as we saw those guys off to the right-hand side in the braking zone entering turn 1, there was blue lines. That was about a car width away. That blue line dedicates the pit road exit. So the drivers are allowed to use that spot right now during the race. However, later on when we have the mandatory pit stops, and guys... Oh no, X-Ice! X-Ice slid it, caught the tire barrier, put the left front nose of his car, and he smashed it pretty good. You see the left side headlights are out. There's dents, there's scrapes, the fender's detached a little bit, so X-Ice was looking to try to battle for a 5th position. Put a pretty decent smack on his car. Now he's about 3.5 seconds behind. And speaking of behind, we've had issues with Bubba, and there's a wreck at the start of pit road as well. I'm not sure if that was Wildebeest or Doge. It looked like a BMW. It wasn't Wildebeest. It wasn't Doge either. Maybe they were trying to get around, but we have a whole handful of yellow cars this season, so it's hard to kind of tell them all out as a difference. But Bubba has had some issues, and that's allowed Dano to take over second place. You see the last lap, Bubba was over 3 seconds slower, and the left front of that Porsche now is pulled out. So Bubba made contact with the wall. Dano was able to capitalize. Put Dano up to P2, and this has allowed K-Dog to get almost a 10-second lead as we're approaching 12 minutes into this race. 33 more minutes to go. The 4 seconds behind this battle now. Excuse me, 5 seconds is Doge. So his BMW has seen some action. You see the scrapes. You see that the right front fender is punched out a little bit, but holding strong right now, running comparable laps to the leader. So Doge is doing good. He's just got to hopefully try to make up the track position, keep it consistent, and have the other guys fall back to him. As the battle for 5th is still going on now, Senile still hold the position. Tommy is right. Tommy, oh, wow. Tommy with a nice correction there. Used that right rear corner panel to actually save himself from a bigger wreck. So he was able to put that corner panel in the wall, help straighten the car out a little bit. He lost some time to Senile, lost over a second. However, it could have been a lot worse. Tommy now has got to focus on closing that gap, hitting his marks, and this is allowing X-Ice, though, to close in. Last time around, X-Ice was faster than Tommy, ran pretty much the same lap as Senile. He's got his teammate Barn in front of him. Oh no! X-Ice slid it through turn 1. And now that's going to be the other side of his Lamborghini. So X-Ice, for sure, when he comes in to change his tires, he's going to have an extended pit stop to fix that damage, as both sides of the front of the car have seen unfortunate action, and that has allowed Jaja now to come into play for the 7th position. So we go back up front, the battle for second. So Bubba had the slip up, it allowed Dano to get by, but Bubba's not letting him fully escape just yet. Dano with a nice run out of the hairpin, but Bubba trying to utilize that slipstream to help negate that nose damage that he has. Staying around 9/10 of a second, though right there you saw where the bend is at its most. That's where Dano was able to gain a 10th on Bubba due to that aero damage. Come up through the aquarium. Bubba driving it strong, high up on the curbing, almost taking out some flowers there. And K-Dog has had issues. And there we see, unfortunately, Drew has had issues as well in that same corner. And look at the right front of K-Dog. It is smashed in. He has found the wall. K-Dog had a 10-second lead that's now down to 2. The mistakes keep happening here at Long Beach. This is the exact same thing that we saw back in Season 9 as well. This track, it invites you to challenge these corners, to go fast, to push. And then before you know it, the rear end of the car slides out on you and you smack a wall. X-Ice, speaking of smack a wall, so X-Ice has brought his Lambo in. As we're about 15 minutes into this race. X-Ice getting new tires well before the halfway point, but more importantly, getting that damage fixed. Looks like K-Dog still trying to get it a little bit under control as the gap now is under 2 seconds. We got 3 Porsches up front. The teammates of K-Dog in first, Bubba in third. The reserve driver of Dano splitting them right now. K-Dog going through the aquarium. Bubba's still again at... Oh no, as Bubba has lost his rear wing. I'm not sure if that happened in... I think that may have happened right before the Dolphin carousel, because we saw Bubba hop up on the curb that time through the carousel. So Bubba, unfortunately now, to go with that front damage, has rear damage, and you're losing a ton of rear downforce without that wing. If these Porsches were rear happy to begin with, Bubba has got to hold on this lap. You saw on entry that car slid. This is an absolute killer for Bubba. If I was Bubba, don't even risk it. Come in and pit this time around. Get that fixed. It's one thing to have some nose damage. You're not really topping out your fastest gear. You can get some pretty good speed, maybe 160, 165 on the front stretch. So that, you know, there's no damage will fix that. But you need to have the back end of your car stable. And now, shocker, there he goes. Bubba dives in on the pit road this time. He has got to get that Porsche repaired, as Dano now is within a second of K-Dog. Dano had some lap 1 action, but his car right now is in a lot better condition than K-Dog's, who took a pretty hard shot when he had a 10-second lead. For the first time in this race, we're going to hop on board. Matter of fact, let's go in the cockpit of Dano as he tries to wheel in K-Dog. You see K-Dog with a really nice run out of that right-hander, though. Able to get a couple car lengths on Dano. We're going to go left, veer off to the left, and then a right-hander. What's another really tricky thing here we didn't cover in the track tour with Long Beach is the fact that you're on highways. You're on full-fledged, like, very populated roads. So one thing that could help is the fact that you can use these, you know, yellow lines, stop signs. You can use all these as braking markers, except for the fact there's a lot of noise going on visually on the track. Even this part, we're going through a parking lot before you're getting back on the freeway. So that can be very distracting for a driver, as well as we're seeing the sun in their eyes on this front stretch. This is a afternoon race in the springtime for Los Angeles, so it's not a full-fledged sunset, but luckily a lot of these guys do have the tint on the top of their windshield, or else it would be really, really tough. So go through one, through the aquarium carousel. Dano right now keeping it about a half-second back, nice and smooth, not really trying to push it right now. Just wants to stay within range of K-Dog. If K-Dog makes a mistake, there's still plenty of time to go. We still have over 26 minutes in this race. Not even halfway yet. Still have pit stops to do for a lot of our front guys. Mac, what's going on, brother? Wano, thanks for hopping in. Much appreciated, guys. And shout out to Mac Attack, the former two-time champion of this league, who's in chat with us, flirting with the possibility of being able to maybe come around and, I don't know, we might see him once or twice this season, so that's exciting in a reserve role. Mac won the inaugural Long Beach race after wrecking himself on the first lap from the pole, held strong, pitted immediately, took his tires the rest of the way on a great finish, but Mac had a hand in the birth of the other no. He was the first oh no in that race. So shout out to Mac. As Dano with a good run down the front stretch, not quite there though, but letting K-Dog know that, you know, his mirror has a really ugly neon color in it and not to mess around. K-Dog's already made one mistake. Dano's waiting to see if he makes another. Speaking of mistake, I believe that may have been... I don't know if that is Tommy or... Let's see. Nope, so Tommy's on the front stretch, so that has to be the Bonds. Yeah, so the Bonds smacking wall yet again. Oh no, it's K-Dog. All right, so we have issues now. So the guys have occurred through lap traffic. As a matter of fact, that's Bubba, not K-Dog. Bonds is putting it in the wall, just trying to stay away from these guys as they were 3 wide. Bubba backs off. Bubba, who was 3rd, is down in 8th because of how long that pit stop took to repair his damage. Bubba, though, serving blue flags respectively, even though he wants to try to keep this track position when the other guys make their pit stops. Bubba not wanting to interfere with the battle of the lead. A little bit of tire spin there from Dano as coming off the hairpin. Bubba with a strong run. This will allow K-Dog to break away a little bit. And that is Austin ahead of K-Dog. Austin is 13th place right now. A lap down after a lap 1 pit stop. Austin was on the pole. Got jumped as that's either Senile or Bob there giving away through the aquarium. But Austin was on the pole. It wasn't a great start. Got jumped by K-Dog. Got jumped by Dano. There was contact between Dano and Bubba, and then somehow Dano with a big-time catch led to contact between Bubba and Austin. And Austin had a lot of repair time early in this race. But Bubba now up to 6th. Again, he's got a fast Porsche. He's really, he wants to go. These guys in front of him have worn out tires. Bubba's on first tires. He wants to go, but at the same time, he's trying to respect the racing rules, respecting the blue flag. If Bubba can get a clean pass, if Dano slips up, Bubba will take a clean pass. True, it would also help out Bubba's teammate. But Bubba right now is looking to go as fast as possible to capitalize when other guys pit. Speaking of which, here comes Wildebeest. That's going to give Bubba another position as he comes around the hairpin. That's going to leave just 4 cars on the lead lap right now. But those 4 cars all have to pit. K-Dog still capitalizing on Austin in front of him. Austin's Lamborghini is fast, so K-Dog is being able to utilize that slipstream, as you saw last time around, is about 0.2 faster than Dano. Austin trying to go as fast as he can, trying not to go 2 laps down. Last time out, Austin was about 1/10 slower than K-Dog, so as K-Dog edges closer, the blue flag will come into play. Dano's still staying about 1 second behind. Bubba staying tucked in right behind Dano. As they come around the hairpin, we are now halfway through this race, 22 minutes to go. And our front guys elect not to pit. That time around, Dano was 1/10, not even 1/10 faster than K-Dog. But they are both off their pace for their fastest laps. So can an undercut work here? Normally we don't see the undercuts for the GT3 cars work like they do in F1. But at this point, we've seen the pace drop off. We know there's damage on these cars. Could an undercut be a possibility tonight? Oh, Austin loses it. The right hit. Oh no, Dano! Dano did the exact same as Austin. Now there's a little bit of negotiating of who is going to go win. So Dano cost him time on the spin and on the recovery. That's going to put Doge up into 2nd place. Doge and K-Dog, the first time around. Mac Attack won that race. Doge finished 2nd, K-Dog finished 3rd. So they're trying to go 2 for 2 on podiums here at Long Beach. And shout out to Doge. We didn't mention this earlier in the broadcast like we should have. Doge with a general donation to the PRL, sponsoring 4 races this season, and this is one of them. He handpicked Long Beach, and we made it the season debut for him. So Doge looking to start the season strong on a track that he picked, and right now finds himself P2, but looking to have a mirror full of Dano here soon. Is Dano coming in the pits? It looks... Nope, it was just wheel spin coming off the hairpin. Though we see Austin bringing it into the pits. So Doge right now still continuing to secure second place. 7.5 seconds behind K-Dog, pretty much running comparable times to K-Dog. But those times are also well off pace from what they were doing early in this race, about a couple seconds. Matter of fact, let's go to our timing board. If we look at the best lap of the race, that's going to go to Bubba at a 19 flat. And these guys are now running 21s, 22s. We got Bubba, Jaja, and X-Ice in the 20s, 5th, 6th, and 7th, but they have also pitted. And K-Dog still having issues. K-Dog coming out of the tire barrier. Once again, the front of that Porsche is pushed in even further. You see he's got a little cross-eyed action going on with that right red light. So this is allowing Doge now to be within 5 seconds. Dano is 6 seconds back. I'm thinking at this point, the damage, the tires, these guys really need to consider pitting. We know K-Dog makes a career out of getting 40 minutes out of his first tires, really able to control that wear, but it's really not showing right now. So K-Dog elects to stay out. Doge is staying out. Dano stays out. Nobody's going for the undercut quite yet. And we've got Tommy back in 4th place. We've seen Tommy in some nice battles. As you see the front of his Ferrari, he has seen some action tonight as well, though. He is 36 seconds back of the leader. Still has to make his pit stop, though. And there's Drew the Great again, unfortunately. Though Drew held the brake. He looped it around, let Tommy go by. So great sportsmanship. Not a lot of room to hide here. So the guys are trying to do their best to make sure that they avoid each other if they have issues. Bubba now in 5th place, the first car a lap down. Actually, no, was Bubba able to unlap himself? He was. With the issues with K-Dog, Bubba was able to unlap himself. So Bubba finds himself a minute behind, and the 4 guys in front of him have to pit. So he should be able to overtake Tommy. Oh, no! Commentator Chris there's Bubba clipped the tire barrier and put it in the wall, but he keeps going. So Bubba should, though, be able to eclipse Tommy just based on the delta alone for making a pit stop. The question is for K-Dog, Doge, and Dano. Dano, not so much. He doesn't have a ton of damage. You see a little bit on the rear there. But Doge is pretty scuffed up, and K-Dog is really scuffed up. How long do those guys take in the pits to repair those damage, and can that bring Bubba back into play? We have yet to have a DNF in this race. All 14 drivers are going right now. And here we go, so Dano is the first one. He brings his Porsche in. He's going to relinquish 3rd place. We'll see. Tommy's still got a bit to go. We'll see if he brings it in. But Dano right now parked in the pits as the ghost crew, staring at the tires, magically changing themselves. It seems like no really repairs for Dano. That was a decent length pit stop. It takes about 16 seconds to change the tires, and that felt like 16 seconds right there. So could Dano try to utilize the undercut? We're going to see how he comes out in traffic. He has Tommy coming right now, so Dano will temporarily lose 3rd place. Tommy still has to pit. Well, what's looking good? Well, I don't know. This is a super long pits road, as you could tell. So Dano, just about the end of it. He's got a couple lapped cars coming. I believe he's going to get out in front of them. And actually, there is the first DNF. As I jinxed it, Habab has unfortunately disconnected. So there's the first driver out. So now this is going to work out great for Dano. So he got out in front. Oh, no, Drew. Again, Drew just suffering in that Ferrari right now. Nosed it into turn 1. But Dano has a lot of open track. And if he is going to sit there and hot lap it, this is what he needs. As we're approaching 16 minutes left in this race. Our top 3, Tommy, still needs to pit. Doge needs to pit. And then our leader, K-Dog, needs to pit as well. K-Dog has been able to widen that gap a little bit. Got it, again, back up to about 4.5 seconds over Doge. K-Dog, your defending 2-time champion. Doge finished 3rd in the points last season. Trying to bring the fight to K-Dog this time around. Doge looking for his first PRL championship. K-Dog looking for his 3rd. And here we go. So Tommy brings it in. And this is going to give Dano third spot back. Bubba is 10 seconds behind Dano now. So while Dano's sitting comfortably, any mistakes that he makes, though, will allow Bubba to come back in. But at this point now, Bubba's tires are starting to fade a little bit. He's been on them for a good 15 minutes. Dano's on fresh tires, so he will be faster. But Bubba has at least gotten himself within range that if the top 3 guys start having issues, somebody smacks a wall super hard, Bubba can look at possibly getting himself back in the podium. Here we go, Doge's pit. We're going to see how this works out for Dano. So Dano is just now entering Sector 3. But again, as we saw with Dano, this is a super long pit road. Doge, though, has more visible damage than Dano did. How long is Doge going to stay? And actually, so I thought this would have been the case too. So Doge looks like he elected not to repair his damage. Dano now coming out of the hairpin. We got a bit of a drag race. Doge is at the end of pit road. Dano's flying now. I believe Doge might... I don't know. It's going to be close. Now remember, Doge is able to hold that outside line. Guys exiting pit road are allowed to it. You see Dano staying... And there we go. So Dano is going to take it. So Doge not wanting to flirt with disaster there. Dano's going to take the spot, but Doge is going to be right behind him, though he had a little bit of a hiccup there in the carousel. Caught a little bit of curbing, kind of whoa the car up a little bit too much. But he is within striking range. Because we've seen Dano has had some slip-ups. Dano is very fast tonight, but he has had some slip-ups, so Doge is not discouraged. He knows he's going to keep him right there. K-Dog still is out there. Last time around, though, K-Dog was about 1.5 seconds slower than Dano. This is what we were talking about with the undercut. Like I said, I mean, in Formula 1, that's a strategy. We really don't see it all that much here in GT3s, but it's happening tonight. K-Dog, though, probably feeling confident in the fact that if he... And there is, I believe that's Bonds in his debut, though, moving out of the way for K-Dog. Unfortunately, Bonds, as you can tell by that car, has not had the debut race that he has wanted. Tons of damage, looking like suspension damage, having a hard time keeping it in a straight line, but moving out of the way for the leader. So hats off for Bonds. He's done a good job tonight serving the blue flag. So while the race performance may not be what he wants, again, hats off for the sportsmanship. That's what we'd like to see here at the PRL. But K-Dog, though, even though he's giving up time right now, he's got to have confidence of when he does get fresh tires, he should be able to challenge and get that top spot back if he does lose it. All right, now this time around, K-Dog was much better. He ran about 1 second faster than he did last lap. We'll see what Dano can do. Dano 50 seconds behind, but K-Dog still has to make the pit stop. Doge keeping it about 3.5 seconds back of Dano. Looks like Dano's been able to open up the gap a little bit since the pit stops. But again, Doge is right there. We've seen Dano make the mistakes. Haven't really seen it out of Doge as much. BMW a little bit more stable. Maybe the Porsche a little bit more fast here on the streets, but it's the risk versus reward. All right, coming to the line this time. K-Dog ran a 20.5, and Dano ran a 19.8. So Dano about 0.7 faster, consistently faster than K-Dog. We'll see how this undercut works out. Though K-Dog will have the fresh tires. Bubba now will wait for the scoreboard to fully update. There it goes. So now Bubba finds himself within 8 seconds of Doge. And here we go. K-Dog is in. We're going to try to time it out here. See, does K-Dog stay in for any repairs? The right front of that car you see is smashed. Is he going to take the extra time and repair it and possibly risk losing the lead? Dano half a lap away. Just now starting Sector 3. K-Dog with one of the last pit stalls. There he goes, getting the tires. Though we don't have the Ghost Pit crew, but Habab is unfortunately retired from this race. Senile sticking to the right-hand side, giving way to the battle for second. K-Dog with a strong run. He's trying to get around Doge. The more time that K-Dog spends battling Doge, that's more time for Dano to run away as we are reaching 9 minutes to go in this race. Dano looking for his first career podium, let alone his first career win. Right now has to be sitting pretty. Oh, Doge slipped up and he went wide. K-Dog decides not to attack on the outside and the left-handers though. K-Dog get a strong run off the hairpin. He does. So he's about 2 car lengths back of Doge. He's gonna have the slipstream. Can he close in though? Doge actually putting all the ponies under that BMW to use. K-Dog closing the gap, but the move is not there in turn 1. This has allowed Dano's lead to go up to 5 seconds. Doge catches a little bit of curbing, but so did K-Dog. Both drivers holding steady right now. Dano's lead stabilizing right around 5 seconds, maybe moving a tenth or two forward and back depending on where they're at in the track. K-Dog right back on the rear of Doge. Doge is going green right now. Doge is running the fastest lap of his race, trying to secure the second position. Doge right now doing a wonderful job defending. K-Dog really hasn't made a move, but Doge trying to put themselves in the right spots to hold this position. Even though, you know, they're both losing ground to the lead, this is a battle for position. It's not like Doge is just going to move out of the way because K-Dog might be a little bit faster, as Doge just ran his fastest lap of the race. K-Dog was a little bit faster. They were both a little bit faster than Dano. K-Dog not quite there to make a move through the aquarium, but he is right on the heels of Doge. And with this, so Bubba is, we're waiting for it to update, 7 seconds back of this battle. So if these guys get a little bit too spicy and start mixing it up, Bubba might come into play. As we have 7 cars on the lead lap right now. There we go. Doge went a little wide. K-Dog's looking to make it underneath move. Doge is going to have the preferred line going into this right-hander, though. But K-Dog had him fully cleared. And he's going to do it. Strong move on the outside for K-Dog. That's going to give him second place. This is going to give K-Dog now 6.5 minutes to chase down 5 seconds. K-Dog has to be in full-out qualifying mode right now if he wants to win this race. And just like that, too, 5 seconds. Oh, K-Dog, too wide out of the hairpin. He got on the gas too early. Scraped the wall. That's going to cost him a lot of time. So that 5-second lead is now 6 seconds. And K-Dog now has to look at his mirror because Doge is going to have a run down the front stretch. Though it won't be there. K-Dog's going to secure second place going into the braking zone. The reserve driver, Dano, looking for his first career PRL win, is 5.5 minutes away from it. The undercut worked. It gave him the lead. He was able to capitalize on K-Dog and Doge battling. But K-Dog is on a mission. It's now down to 4.5 seconds. K-Dog is got to be absolutely flying right now. So let's look from their fast laps as they start Sector 3. So Dano, 7/10 off his best lap. Let's look what K-Dog's doing. K-Dog is green. K-Dog is running the fastest lap of the race right now for himself. As we're coming to the final section here, the double left-handers going into the hairpin. We're going to look at what our leaders are running lap-wise. You see K-Dog continuing to shave off time. Trying to get that Porsche closer and closer. All right, that time, Dano, a 20.3. K-Dog, a 19 flat. K-Dog over a second faster than Dano. And you can tell too, because K-Dog is pulling away from Doge. We're looking at 3 to 4 more laps in this race. If K-Dog can keep that second a lap advantage that he has over Dano, he will catch him. We might have ourselves a last lap battle for the win. We see Excise, not the run that he wanted in his Lambo. The points runner-up is in 11th place, 2 laps down. Moves out of the way. He knows what's going on. He knows K-Dog is trying to catch Dano. Right now, the timer is not Dano's friend. He wants that clock to tick faster. K-Dog is coming. K-Dog on the fresher tires. Dano was able to take the top spot on the undercut and ran some faster laps when K-Dog was on worn tires, but turnaround is fair play. Now K-Dog has the tire advantage. Dano with some wheel spin coming out of the hairpin. All right, that time, a 20.4. And K-Dog, I believe that is the fastest lap of the race. It is. K-Dog is the first driver to jump into 18s during the race. It is going to be 3 more laps to go. K-Dog now has it under 3 seconds, and this is... he's between a second and a second and a half a lap faster. Dano is going to have to do some big-time defensive driving as he takes the white flag. As long as nobody makes a mistake at the current paces that they're going. At this point, Doge needs these guys to mix up. If he wants a shot at this win, he is 7 seconds back. Bubba is 13 seconds back. Then a big gap to Jaja, who's been able to recover, currently running 5th, 40 seconds back. And we've got Tommy in 6th place. We got Wilderbeats in 7th place. The only 7 cars on the lead lap. Coming around the hairpin. Daniel's going to cross the finish line with about 2 minutes to go. That means it is going to be 2 laps to go. As Dano just ran his fastest lap of the race. He found some time, but K-Dog again, an 18.4. K-Dog's going even faster. K-Dog was still over a second faster that time. 2 laps to go. A little over 2 seconds separate the 2 Porsches. Dano not the greatest of sector 1s there, though. Whoa, no! No, Dano, hold it! Camera, what are you doing? Terrible camera work there. Dano was able to hold it up, though, correct himself. This is going to put K-Dog right on his bumper, though, and Dano goes wide. K-Dog's going to look to the left side. He made the same moves on Doge earlier and made it work. Can he clear him on the outside? There's a little bit of contact. No, it wasn't, because K-Dog had to whoa up. Those tire barriers stick out from the wall, so K-Dog had to make sure he didn't run into the tire barriers. He is still right on the... Here we go. It's K-Dog taking a peek. Not quite there. Dano running a little bit wide. He's going to have the preferred line on left-handers. He's going to hug it to the curbing. K-Dog tucked in right behind him as they come into the hairpin. This is going to be white flag. Battle for the lead. Dano looking for his first career win. K-Dog looking for a win on way to his 3rd straight championship. Here we go. Battle of Porsches up front. And if they mix it up too hard, we got Doge 5 seconds away, just looking to steal a win. K-Dog looking for... just stuck his nose there on the outside. Really not a spot you could do that, so I think K-Dog was just trying to test Dano out, see how hard Dano is staring into those mirrors to get themselves through the aquarium. Sector 1, outside of turn 1, it's not the greatest spot to pass, so K-Dog trying to set him up. Here's where Dano's had issues last time. He's cleaner this time. Both drivers veer off to the right for this left-hander. K-Dog tried this move last time, couldn't make it stick. Is he going to go for an over-under? Yes, he is! A little bit of contact. Dano's going to make it work, though. He kept the outside after they banged doors a little bit. Hard but respectful. Rubbing but not wrecking. These guys are giving it all here at Long Beach. K-Dog went a little bit too hard. Double apex, here we go. Dano's got a couple car lengths. Can K-Dog make one last gasp going into the hairpin? You saw Dano try to make that defensive line, make his car as wide as he could on the inside of the hairpin. K-Dog did not have a move to make as they race down the front stretch. And give it to Dano, his first career win. He holds off the champion at the end. K-Dog right on his bumper. Congratulations, Dano. Doge is going to cross the line. That is 2 for 2 for Long Beach podiums for Doge in his debut in the BMW. Bubba now coming off the final couple turns through the hairpin. Bubba with a very eventful race. Is going to fall short of the podium, but a good points finish for him as Bubba's just wrecked before the finish line. He's trying to move out of the way for X-Ice. Is this going to cost Bubba a spot? As him and Jaja, unless they've changed the finish line, this is the finish line right here. No, Bubba's reversing it. So Bubba had issues. Or I guess none. Maybe the finish line was closer, but I don't know what happened there. So Bubba, I guess, will be timed with 4th. Jaja 5th. As guys now are just sending these cars to the full-fledged wreckers. We got Tommy in 6th. Wildebeest, the last car in the lead lap here, coming around the hairpin. And there we go. So Senile has finished the race. He's going to be in 8th. Barn is part of that mayhem there in 9th. Austin, your pole sitter, unfortunately with lap 1 issues, he'll round out the top 10. And there we go. It's official. 33 laps, 45 and a half minutes. It's going to be Dano picking up the first career win with K-Dog and Joge rounding out the podium. Then we mentioned earlier the rest of the top 10. So Drew, surprise, shocker race, just tough race for X-Ice. He had to make 2 pits for damage, all the way down in 12th. Bond's the last car running in 13th, and then Habab, our 1 disconnection in 14th. But congratulations, Dano, off a great run. And before we go, we've got to save this replay because we are going to have a lot to look at here. All right, at this point, there we go. So the race saved. We're waiting for the guys to get in Discord, and then we're going to fire this up. And we are going to have ourselves a brand new winner to talk to here. All right, trying to get all this organized real quick. All right, we're starting to get him trickled in. I see Doge has popped up. Waiting for K-Dog. And then waiting for Dano. And while this is going on, let's go ahead and fire it up because we are going to have... We're going to have a lot of stuff to watch. Now, unfortunately, because of a game issue, it doesn't record the entire 45 minutes, but we're going to have the beginning of this race to watch. And that was some of the most important stuff because of all the craziness that happened early. All right, still not sure where the other two are, so let me go ahead and... Oh, there we go. All right, now we got the guys popping up. Though they are muted right now, so as soon as we get those microphones cranking, we'll get going on it. And why did this not load up? Dano, you there, brother? Dano, if you can hear me, your mic's muted. All right, let's try that now. There we go. All right. There it is. How we want to start off this podium broadcast. We talked about it. The man had heartbreak at Monaco on Thursday. Missed out on his first career podium because a guy in front of him ran out of fuel. But this time, there was none of that. Worked the tire strategy. Defended beautifully. Dano, buddy. Hell of a drive. Congratulations, man. Yeah. Yeah, we talked about it. You had the lap one issues. You were able to recover. You had, again, self-spins like throughout the race as well. I believe 2 of them that we caught on camera. But it came to the pit strategy. That's what it came down to, is you came in early, you got the fresh tires, and the undercut, which we normally don't see work in GT3, worked for you. You beat K-Dog out of the pit, and then let's talk about it, man. You're going for your first win, and you got the 2-time champion behind you. What's going through your head on those last 2 laps? Uh-oh, sound issues. Dano, try talking now. All right. For whatever reason, it kicked you into Hangout chat. Not sure why, but oh man. So first, we did have some have some sound issues. So if you want to go ahead and give a victory shout real quick, so everybody can hear it.
Woo, baby! Woo!
We need more Ric Flair woos in our lives. Yes.
Man, yeah. So I think when I lost you there, yeah.
Yeah. So we're talking about. So you had the lap 1 incident. You had some self spins. You lost a lot of track time, but the undercut worked.
Dude, I didn't know. I was catching K-Dog. I was kind of watching lap times, and then I got sideways there. I can't remember who was in front of me. Kind of played a little tag game there of who wants to go first, and I can't remember who it was, whether it was XIS or who it was, but he let me by, and I'm like, I just figured, I know K-Dog likes to stay out late. So I figured, why the heck not? I got maybe a podium wrapped up if I just kept it clean. So yeah, pitted early. On that first lap incident from Bubba, I only had 1 damage on the front and the rear, and I don't know how, because I feel like I hit the wall pretty hard.
I'm shocked to hear that, because it looked like you got nosed in pretty hard.
Yeah, and that was the blessing in disguise right there. Because man, on that start, I had a great jump. I think I was right behind K-Dog, up from 4th to 2nd. Took but man,
it looked like all 3 Porsches did, because you were starting 3rd, Bubba was in 5th. Oh no, you were starting 4th. Tommy was in 3rd. Bubba was in 5th or 6th, and like before you know it, 3 Porsches up front. You guys all jumped everybody off the line.
I'd say K-Dog was a rocket. I followed him because it was just that inside line. Everybody to the right just kept dropping back, and I think I had room on the outside, and then I saw it coming. I had no idea what Bubba was doing, but it worked out because I saw it coming hard in the mirror, and I'm like, yeah, hopefully he can get on the brakes and turn it in, and it got me. But I think he straightened me back out. Maybe he did it on purpose. It helped, but yeah, no, I'm talking. Right, help me to get back straight on purpose.
But so to not only win your first race, but to overcome, persevere like that, like that's got to make it that much sweeter. But let's talk about it. So it comes down to the nitty gritty. You made a mistake that put K-Dog literally right on your bumper with 2 to go. And then the last lap, you guys were rubbing doors, leaning on each other. K-Dog went high. He went for an over-under. Yeah. Talk about just going through your mind defending. And then, too, we saw a unique line through the hairpin, imagining you're just trying to make your Porsche as wide on the inside as possible.
Oh, man, I was watching lap times, and I want to say I stayed 4 to 5 seconds ahead of K-Dog there for, I think it was like 12 minutes left right after he pitted. I saw maybe Doge was in front of him on the leaderboard. So maybe he could hold him up a little bit. And I was just, at that point, I was just trying to save tires, kind of coasting in corners. Really, I don't know what turn it is. The the right-hander before the long straight down to that big
Right.
sweeping right. That there's this little curb sitting there just ready to eat you, and that's where I
Well,
spun
not
that
only
first
that,
time.
right before that curb too,
And
there is a bump in the road, and if you watch the track
God,
tour,
it
I
gets-
almost lose it there too,
the car
just going
gets
easy.
so loose. Man, it gets so loose, and so I was trying to be cognizant of that. And at that point, K Dog was starting to get he was hammering down. I watched the times fall. It was like 4.5 second lead, and I think there was like 5 minutes left, and then I went down to 3.5, 2.5, and then I don't know if I hit those curbs, but I don't know what it was. I got loose. I managed to save it, and then all of a sudden, boom, he's right on my bumper. And then I know K Dog pretty well through F1, and he's helped me out kind of a little bit on the side of project cars, and I know he races clean, but we're also fighting for the win. But yeah, it was a great 2 laps, man. I was
It
sweating
was, and we
bullets.
called it out too. It's like you guys were racing fair but hard. You were rubbing but not wrecking, and yeah, it was just it was masterfully done by both of you. And like you said, you made the right defensive move. And even then, when K Dog got on the inside of you, you were able to carry that outside momentum that pretty much secured the win at that point. So
Yeah, that last long straight, I knew he was going to have a run. I know he tried to get down on the inside. I tried to give him room. I think I got that run off the outside, and then, like you said, dude, I tried to make that car as wide as possible. I took a really weird line into that right-hander, knowing if you get in those white stripes, you're going to get real loose. So, tried to keep it low, tried not to oversteer through that corner, and then once I saw K-Dog he wasn't on my tail coming out of that, he didn't get a run out of that corner. I'm like, man, I just got to make this hard, the left chicane and then the hard right, and I knew I had the straight line speed. I don't know if it was a little bit of damage he didn't fix or what it was, but man, it was nuts.
yeah, it was. But brother, that was a great race you ran, and nothing like your first podium being an actual victory. So hats off to you, man. That was a wonderful drive,
Yeah, dude.
and that's gonna make a hell of a highlight video too.
Yeah, thank you. God, yeah, it was fun, and especially, I hate to keep bringing it up, especially from frickin' Monaco, man. I felt like I did the same thing. I'm never catching McSindit. I'm never going to be as fast as him, but man, just coming out of that last corner at Monaco just left a sour taste in my mouth. I know Axton couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah,
but
it's just sometimes.
I put some time.
Sometimes the racing
in.
gods are out for you, and sometimes they smile on you. And tonight was a smile, my man.
Yep. God, it feels great.
Awesome, brother. It's just so happy for you.
Thanks,
All
dude.
right,
Thanks,
he's
man.
in here
Appreciate
now. He needs to unmute himself, but let's talk to the man on the other side of that battle. The 2-time lost the lead on the pit stop, but then just throwing down quality laps after that, closed the gap. And let's talk about it, K-Dog. That was a hell of a battle. You went for the over-under. You guys rubbed doors. The lap before, you tried to go on the outside and it just didn't stick. What was going through your mind there?
Oh, that was going to be a difficult time to try and get by.
But I mean, you gave it a great shot. So like you said, you guys were hard but clean. You were rubbing but not wrecking. And I know you love winning in this league, but I mean, sometimes though, if you don't win but you have a great battle like that, you at least got to give it a little smirk. Maybe not a full-fledged smile, but a little smirk.
Yeah, it was a smirk, but also let another Long Beach in a row.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that. You had a 10-second lead, and we didn't have the camera on you. We were watching another battle. What happened to the front of the Porsche? Where on the track got you?
I just barely missed my braking point on turn 1.
Oh, nosed it?
I mean, just barely, like, baby tapped the wall, and it gave me 8 front and
Yeah, it really
suspension
crumpled in the
there.
right front of that car. It looked like you smacked something like almost head on.
It was at an angle, but to me, I was already slowed down enough to where I felt I shouldn't have got any damage from
Right.
it, but it still gave me some. But once I seen how minimal the suspension damage was, and I could still run the consistent times I was running, I'm like, yeah, I'll just stay out.
Well,
Then later on before, I think like a handful of laps before I pit, when I let Bubba by me, I missed my braking point on the back stretch because I looked away for a split second and looked back at the screen and barely missed my braking point, so I'd lost a few
That's
seconds
Long Beach for you, man. Yeah, you got more room than Monaco, but like you say, you're not on the breaking points just right. It cost you a handful of time. And I know you're disappointed. This, like you say, it's your second Long Beach that has slipped away, but you're looking for your third straight championship. You survived a street circuit, and you're coming home with some second place points. So at least it's a good start to the season, I'd say.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Well, again, brother, I know you had a great battle, but it always sucks finishing second. But hats off to you, and thank you for the highlights, dude. That last lap is a highlight. That's going to be a fun one to watch back. All right.
Thank you.
K-Dog, hats off for the racing there at the end, and dude, that was fun, man.
Yeah.
Clean, vying for the win.
Can't say that about some other drivers, but yeah, I was enjoying it.
Well, speaking of other drivers, let's round out this podium finish with the man that everybody can thank for the festivities tonight, who sponsored this race and makes it 2 for 2 on Long Beach podiums. Doge, my man. Congratulations on surviving the mayhem.
That was well worth $5.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. So let me turn you up just a little bit here. There we go.
The first opening laps, it was kind of questioning it at first, and I had all the first lap calamities. I had somebody on my quarter panel almost whip me around. I had to fix that, and I was like,
well, yeah, you were, unfortunately, it seemed like you needed to be, well, actually, I can't even say that because we had issues with second place. So unless you were like K-Dog up front, then, oh, wait a minute. I don't know why Discord's going nuts tonight.
What?
But yeah, so you talked about it. You were in the thick of it on the turn 1 mayhem and really the first couple laps in general. And then you got some room. You were able to pace your BMW. You got out in front of K-Dog there. Did some defending, unfortunately. He got around you on an error. And at that point, on the closing laps, were you just kind of rooting for some Porsche calamity to see if you can sneak it away?
Well, I was happy to see that Dano got in front of K-Dog because, what could have been a 5-point lead is now just a 2-point lead. And I mean, so I was cheering on for that. Sorry, K-Dog. But
no, because
yeah, I mean, I just didn't have the speed. I was struggling, and I had to be really careful. I got too hard on the throttle. I'd whip it around. So K-Dog went past. I was like, oh, I'm already in a podium spot. Might as well just play it
because
safe.
that was the right strat because you had an 8-second buffer on Bubba, but same thing, if you try to push it and the mistake was there, which, I mean, in Long Beach, the mistakes are plentiful. Like, you could have saw that slipped away, but you made the right call. You made the points call, like you mentioned, because you're in it for the championship this season, so not letting K-Dog get that early lead. All right, what is Discord doing? Are you guys still there?
Yeah. I see it.
Well, I was about to say, like,
is
is Jobs messing with us or some shit? Like, it keeps bouncing around.
Yeah, I know. Like, everything you just said, I didn't hear a single word of it.
No, I was going to say, though, it's like you made the smart call because you could have been racy. We're seeing mistakes happen all night. You had Bubba, 8 seconds behind you, which is enough to close a gap if you whip it around. So you made the smart call. You got the podium. You keep K-Dog in check because we know you're going for the championship this season. So, I mean...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Just played it safe. I mean, I knew what kind of monster Long Beach was. I mean, I sponsored it, and I knew what I was getting into, and the secret is just being there at the end, You can push, but you push too hard, you can lose a lot more than what you can gain.
That's any street circuit. 75% of it is survival. But congratulate... Oh. Jesus Christ, this stupid thing. But congratulations to your brother. So, making it... K-Dog, are you doing this? I'm going to beat the shit out of you. Wow.
No, I'm
anyway,
not.
Those congratulations on making it.
Okay, for some reason it doesn't like when I press my mute button.
But, alright, since Discord's being a D-hole, let's go ahead and make this the official end of the broadcast. So, everybody, give it hats off. First career PRL win. That's going to Dano with that great defense at the end. You hear the Ric Flair woos. K-Dog, the two-time, coming home second. And then Doge already declared he's bringing the fight to K-Dog, rounds out the podium. Gentlemen, congratulations.